Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sport Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope your Christmas was fantastic, or Hanukkah, or whichever of the holidays you celebrated or are still celebrating. Hope you've been having a good time, getting ready for the New Year's celebration. Tonight, we'll be getting you caught up on what's been happening in the NHL, some trades, some teams just absolutely refusing to lose in regulation. It's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's World Juniors time. We'll get you caught up on what's been happening in the top amateur tournaments in the world going on in the USA, Canada and Switzerland going on there. USA beating Slovakia, Sweden just absolutely taking Germany apart. We'll get you caught up on everything going on in the World Juniors. Freddie has got his power rankings for the week, so we will dive through those. The Olympic rosters are about to be unveiled. We'll dive through some of the latest on that. We've got New Year's resolutions. We've got PWHL to go through. There's so much and only an hour to do it, so let's dive on in. This is the Neutral Zone. Buckle it on up, everybody. Let's have it.
Uh-oh, where'd you go out? There you are.
There we go. Hello, and good evening, everyone. Welcome in. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Adam. He is Freddie. Together, we do this hockey thing every week. Normally, we're on Wednesday nights, but with the holidays, we thought we'd throw it on a Tuesday night this week.
Yes, sir.
Save New Year's Eve for the merriment and the ball drops and all that good stuff. We'll get back to our regular time of Wednesday night, 9-ish Eastern time, 6-ish Pacific time.
Ish. I like that. Yeah, add that.
Hockey time. You know, when they say it's a 9 o'clock puck drop, that means as long as the puck is in play by 9:30, the game started on time. That's kind of how the show operates too.
So Adam, so great to be back. How was your Christmas, man? Did Santa bring you and your family everything they asked for?
Oh my goodness. My kids made out like just spoiled. You wouldn't believe it. My living room is just toys everywhere now. My son got not one, but 2 Hot Wheels sets.
Oh, heck yeah.
Thanks. One did come from us, a smaller one. Then the monster one came from his grandma.
Oh, yeah.
He has not stopped playing with it for 6 days. About every 5 minutes, he'll stop. He'll play with it for like 20 minutes, stop, and 5 minutes later, can I go back? Yes.
Is it the kind that you could build the track and everything like that?
Oh, they're modular.
Yeah. Okay.
Track. Oh yeah. The big one that he and I mean he'd been asking for this for months.
Yeah.
It is the Hot Wheels midair crash.
Oh heck yeah.
Which admittedly, the kids got good taste. It is a ton of fun. I have had a ton of fun.
I always wanted the one when I was a kid that had the car wash and you push the button and it would spin it around like your car's in the car wash and it would pop out the other side. But
he's got a separate car wash thing for that's more like a little people thing, but he's got that too. No, this is you launch the car and it'll do a loop-de-loop and then race around the track, and it builds up enough force that it will take itself back to the launcher and start the process all over again. So theoretically, once you start a car, it'll just keep going in perpetuity.
Oh, that's great.
Until you turn it off. But where it really comes fun is you can have multiple cars going on the track at once. And if you time it right, sure, they'll just loop around and keep going around and around. But if you're a 2.5-year-old, oh, no, that's not the fun. The fun is launching a car straight into the other one as it's trying to complete the circuit.
Oh, dude,
slide and chaos.
Oh, you set up a camera on a tripod or something like that if you can, or go on Amazon, buy a little mic that you could, or a camera that you could attach to one of the cars and get that point of view action of it going around, and then that midair collision, man. You put that on YouTube, you're gonna have 1 million likes, man. They're gonna start paying you. You're gonna have a deal with Hot Wheels. I'm just saying.
I recorded it. I've recorded him playing with it. The look on his face. It is just.
I'm sure you were there too. You were having fun too, right? It was bringing back some childhood memories, and
it's one of those things where, of course, Dad set the darn thing up, tried to do it without swearing, all those kinds of things, and get it done. We get the kids to bed. And it's this big, yes, it technically folds down for safe storage. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's this big thing in the middle of your living room, no matter what you do. We get the kids to bed Christmas night, and I turned and looked at my wife, and I said, okay, this thing really is fun. I can't help it. This thing really is fun.
Well, great, man. That's awesome. I love to hear that stuff.
Both kids wound up with new skates too. So my daughter got the next size up, and then my sister-in-law got for our son a set of hockey skates. So
yes, get him out there with the sister.
We can now all 4 of us go out there and go skating together. So
that's
how about
awesome.
you guys? How was your day?
Oh man, it was nice this year. It was quiet. It was just family time. We just, did things, slow and progressed as the day went on. There was no rush for anything. In-laws came over for a beautiful dinner that my wife cooked. But yeah, no, it was nice. Just with, home with the kids, and my daughter is super excited. I posted a picture on some of my social medias of her. I got her favorite player right now is Brant Clark of the LA Kings. So I got her, or Santa got her 4 Brant Clark rookie cards, and the 3 of them were autographed. So she was pretty stoked about that. But yeah, we it was a nice Christmas. It was we didn't have hockey for a few days, which kind of sucked, but that leads into there was hockey the day after Christmas, Boxing Day in Canada, World Junior Day, as it's known throughout the rest of the world.
There we go. Yes. So we will jump right on in here. It is Christmas. It is New Year's. It is the holidays in the hockey world. That means it's World Juniors time. So let's dive on in. You have been doing an excellent job for IE Sports Radio.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You've been putting some great videos up there recapping everything going on with the World Juniors tournament. And for those of you, first of all, for those of you watching tonight across YouTube and Twitter, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, who your teams are, what you did for the holidays that was special, all those good things. Let us know that. You can follow along with the station. We are available on the major social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at IE Sports Radio. You can follow Freddie. He is at FreddieB_sports, or you can follow me. I am at Adam_Karnick on Twitter.
Yep.
And Freddie, you've been doing an awesome job keeping everybody up to date on the World Juniors. So get us caught up on what's been happening with World Juniors up to now.
Well, the World Juniors is the tournament. If you're not familiar with it, is the guys that are 20 and under and the NHL or collegiate hockey or playing up in Canada and across the world. So it's the World Junior Tournament. It's taken place every year around Christmas time with the championships right after the New Year. USA has won the previous 2 years, and they're looking to three-peat this year. And it's nice because this year's tournament is being played in St. Paul and Minneapolis in Minnesota. So it's on home turf. And I've watched this throughout the years as I was growing up as a hockey fan. And with the coverage now, you get to see every game, every team. And these guys are, if they're not already stars or have been drafted, they are the future of the NHL. We're seeing guys that are on current rosters, but then we're also seeing guys that could be future number 1 picks. Gavin McKenna, if you haven't tune in to watch him. Future, possibly the number 1 pick overall in the NHL in 2026 here. Just picked up a hat trick last night. Fantastic job. He's assisting as well. But yeah, you get to see these guys compete on the international level. And international level is something a little bit different. You don't normally see very often. And that's so great because we're going to have the Olympics in just another month from now as well. So we've got all this hockey compiled into a short amount of time, but the tournament's going well. USA, doing what they do. They haven't looked great in the games that they have played so far, but they're still sitting 3-0. They're tied with Sweden right now amongst the Group B leaders. Group A leaders. In Group B, Canada, 2-1. The one win was an overtime win against Latvia. That was a crazy game. Goals late by Latvia to tie it, and then Canada with the overtimer in that one. Crazy as far as like the penalties were in that one. I still scratching my head as to how the referees called a major on that penalty, but that's something else. No, really, really good tournament right now. Finland looking strong, Czechia looking strong, Sweden, United States. So, Adam, have you caught any of the games so far? I know they're on throughout the day. There has been 4 a day. Usually there was only 2 today, but they're out there. You can watch them.
I've been keeping up with the scores. I have not been able to watch any games, unfortunately, but I've been keeping up with the scores and then keep myself up with the highlights and the good things there. Gavin McKenna, the hat trick, he's been having an up and down season there at Penn State this year. Being able to have a good tournament here has got to feel comfortable for him. It's international hockey too. So for those who, if you're only used to watching NHL hockey, this is like what you'd see in the Olympics once every 4 years. The rinks are wider. There's a lot more ice on the outside. So it is a little bit different style of hockey than if you're just exclusively watching North American hockey. It is international hockey, and it's so international hockey rules, international hockey rink, things like that. So it is a little different, but it's always competitive. It's always very entertaining tournament, and especially with the Olympics right around the corner this year too, it helps feed into that. If not,
this has been a perfect transition into it. Yeah.
If not directly, then these are names that you're going to be seeing, if not already in the NHL very soon, and in the Olympics very soon too.
Yeah. There's some teams that, like I said, do have NHL players on the roster right now, like Team Canada, Michael Misa and Tija Ginla, guys, who are named guys, Perek and stuff like that as well. And the nice thing too about how the World Junior game and international game has gone is it's just not dominated by Canada anymore like it used to be. The U.S. has been a strong team. Canada is trying to avenge a really terrible turnout last year in the tournament, but you're seeing Sweden, Finland, Switzerland, not so much. They're still, becoming a better team. We've seen Germany in the past be really strong as well, Latvia. So the international game is a lot more competitive than it was, say, 7 or 8 years ago. So that's also fun to watch too.
Germany had a run there. I'm trying to remember, it was last year or the year before, but Germany had a surprise run in there recently with the World Juniors too. Not going to happen this year.
No. They're winless. They lost all 4 of their games, only scored 5 goals in the 4 games. So tough sledding for Germany this time around.
Yeah. Not great this go around, but
same with Denmark on the other side for Group B.
But they've had some good runs. Now, I will say I will be very surprised if we won. Oh, excuse me.
God bless you.
Sorry about that. I'm sure that sounds just so lovely coming over the microphone too. Trying to hit that mute button as fast as I can there. Sorry about that. I would be surprised if we wind up with anything other than either US or Canada in the final. And they should be. I would not be surprised at all if we have US versus Canada in the championship.
That would be awesome, and then that just sets the tone for what could be, in a month's time as well. Peter, I'm sorry, Adam, I've got a question on Twitter from a gentleman, and he's asking how he can join the chat. Can you remind everybody how they can join the chat if they want to chime in and ask us questions or comment on tonight's show?
Yeah, what they should do. So if you're watching, if you are watching the video here, I'm gonna do it over Twitter just to make sure that I'm doing it properly as well as I mute my phone. Sorry. If you click on the video itself, there will be a box down. If you're watching on Twitter, and there will be a box down there that will say it literally will say something. I'm just gonna type a little message right in there, and then it pops up right there, and we see it, and I can pop it right up there onto the screen for everybody to see.
Yep.
So, you can just pull up the video. Click on the video itself, and then you can get into the chat. Otherwise, you're just tweeting at either Freddie or myself. Otherwise, and that's not gonna quite work.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, hopefully that answered your question, Peter. We'll get your chat here. Hopefully,
we'll have
soon. Thank you for tuning in to the show tonight too. That's awesome. We're getting some celebs starting to follow us here on the Neutral Zone. We talk everything. It's just not NHL. Like, we're starting with World Juniors right now. An awesome goal last night. If you were able to catch any of the highlights of the World Junior games, it was Adam Jurasek with the game-winning goal for Czechia in that game against Finland. It was he was kind of going through the zone. It was in overtime, so it was a lot of space. He's coming through the zone, spins around, goes like Marek Malik, and through the legs, top shelf. It was just an awesome goal. You've got to see that move. It's really, with open ice in international hockey, we're not going to see it in the Olympics, but there's just that extra space where you can get a little bit more creative and take a chance and a risk, because these are 3-point games that they're playing here. And the pool play, you're trying to earn yourself a spot into, the playoff bracket of it.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. They do the 3-2-1 system. So 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for an overtime loss. And of course, no points if you lose in regulation, a la Germany.
Yeah. I would still sign a petition to get that into the NHL. I think that's the way it's going to end up going. And I think everything is going to change in about another 2 or 3 years with the NHL. Maybe they'll increase, the amount of teams or the playoff structure, and then also go to that 3-2-1 point system, which I think could be good, especially with the amount of parity that we've seen in the league this year. I think that would be a neat way to go and really make it, worth earning the 2 points every night, or the 3 point, try to earning the 3 points instead of the 2, or getting the loser point every night like the Kings do.
Right. Or I was very impressed. The Blackhawks went to overtime the other night and got the second point.
Is that the win against Dallas?
Yes, against Dallas, they won in a shootout. I was shocked and amazed, because the Blackhawks have been so good about getting to overtime and then figuring out some way to lose. Yeah, something like a 3-2-1. I would expect that would probably not happen until the collective bargaining agreement expires, which they just ratified a new one this summer. But you saw some changes. They're going to an 84 game schedule here
Right.
in a year. They're going to be, the salary cap is going to be adjusting. They're making adaptations and changes with that. So I would not be surprised. They used the 3-2-1 system in like the Four Nations tournament last year. That's what they used. Obviously, all the international stuff uses that. It does make a lot of sense. And with the propensity, with all the games in the NHL that are now going to overtime, where you're winding up with so many 3-point games, it really does kind of make sense to help delineate and add some extra weight to winning in regulation.
If the current NHL format was like that right now, Colorado would have, probably over 80 points at this point. If regulation wins, Canada is 3. Holy moly. That's what 84 points just on wins alone.
Well, let's go.
I don't know. Regulation wins. Let's see here.
Yeah, let's just go take a quick peek at the NHL standings real fast as we head over there. We've also got the Winter Classic coming up later this week.
Yes, sir.
As I'm pulling that up, I'll throw this curveball at you. Quote unquote outdoor hockey in Miami.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, sir?
I mean, they have the retractable roof at that stadium, so I think from the videos and photos I've seen, it's been closed. I don't know what the deal is, what the weather is going to be like, but if you're going to go and play an outdoor game in Miami, by the way, we've done them in LA. We had them at Dodger Stadium. They had one in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara where the 49ers play with the Sharks and Kings a few years back as well.
Yep.
And we've seen them, the East Coast games and the Northeast games are so nice because they have these old, football or baseball historical stadiums, and the weather's been, bad at times. We've had snow in the middle of some of these games. Now you're going to South Florida. If they could have put a custom rink for 10,000 fans, maybe, or any beach goers, and put it on the beach itself, I think that is what they should have done. That would have been awesome. If you're going to go beach style, do that. Don't put it inside the stadium where the Marlins play.
I mean, it'll probably be the most full that stadium's been in 40 years.
Yeah, of course.
Their Marlins fans certainly don't go there.
But man, they should have hyped this thing up to be on the beach somewhere.
I love the idea. It's just, I have enough friends who are engineers that I can kind of sort of put my brain in that mindset for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the engineering feat of trying to play hockey on the beach in Miami
or a parking, or a parking lot or something right near it. I mean, they built that outdoor arena when the Kings played the Rangers outside of Caesar's Palace back in the 90s.
That's true.
It could be done. They put the rink outside in Lake Tahoe for the Tahoe series with the Kraken in Vegas a few years ago as well. So that was on the golf course. It could be done.
This is true. I'm looking at the
forecast. I think they're going to take an L here on the ratings as far as that goes.
Well, it's not. It certainly isn't going to be any worse than last year. Oh my God, that was horrible. What the NHL subjected us to a year ago. Blackhawks Blues in the Winter Classic. That was terrible.
It was.
This is at least you've got. They're banged up and they're beaten up, but they're still the Florida Panthers. There's still back-to-back champs here. There's still something there, and the Rangers are always a draw.
Absolutely.
They're driving everybody insane and it's not in New York, so the Rangers, might actually score in this one.
Yeah, you got think too, you have snowbirds coming down to the warmer weather of South Florida as well. So hockey fans throughout the country trying to get out of the colder elements and coming south. And, there is the Stadium Series game coming up as well between Tampa Bay and Boston. That one, I think, is in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. So that's going to be an outdoor game in like the pirate ship type stadium. They kind of made the uniforms, kind of pirate-esque as well. I like what they've done with that. So, yeah, put the Winter Classics up north. The Stadium Series games can be the southern states or the coastal states, I think. But I really like the Heritage Classics, the ones they do in Canada, Montreal, or they put one in a province that doesn't have a professional team. I like to see that kind of stuff. Those outdoor games are great, man. You give me like the Leafs in Montreal, I'm gonna watch that all the time.
Absolutely. And it just, but it's still, it's good that they're trying to do this. I do worry that you're right, that this is going to be a weird, that ultimately this one is going to look kind of weird and the optics will be unusual. And well, we'll see what they do. I saw one video, they were talking about it, where somebody pointed out that they're at Lone Depot Park, as it's called now.
Yeah.
Changes names about every other year, it feels like.
Yeah.
That they, at least at one time, they had jacuzzis going down the foul poles, that they should somehow incorporate that onto into the visual, that you could have people sitting there in jacuzzis drinking a margarita, or if it were or some kind of nice adult beverage.
They could have really made this and given it a Cuban flair.
Yes,
that would have been really good as well.
If it were me, I'd be sitting there poolside with a mojito in my hand watching a hockey game.
Yeah,
I'd
be looking like You'd be dressed like Don Johnson on Miami Vice, right? If you're gonna go to that game, you're wearing the white suit with the green shirt.
Give me the popped collar and the sunglasses.
Yeah, man, you're driving in your Lambo, man. You're going to be fine.
Right. Yeah,
that's the way to show up. I wish the players would do that. I'm throwing it out there. You still have time. I don't know what the theme is for the player intros, but go Miami Vice theme. Roll in with some Lambos. Let's do it.
Absolutely. We can have some fun with it and do it that way. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We're going to take for ourselves a quick break here. And then when we come back, we'll get you caught up on the scores going around the hockey world tonight. Freddie's got his power rankings. We will do some updates from around the NHL and the PWHL, and we've got some New Year's resolutions to get through around the corner as well. All that, plus we'll see what other fun things wind up coming our way. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. He is Freddie B. I am Adam Karnick. Glad that you are here with us tonight on a special Tuesday night edition of Normally we do this on Wednesday around 9 o'clock Eastern time, but with the holiday, we shifted things around a little bit just to make everything work a little bit better. So if you are watching later on YouTube as a podcast, if you're tuning in Wednesday night and hey, wait a minute, why isn't this live? We went live on Tuesday this week. We will be back at our regular time next week. Once the calendar flips over into January, we'll get back into our regular time of Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Ooh, yep. Freddie, I see behind you. It looks like somebody for the Blackhawks is trying to get ready to score there.
Yeah, feed keeps freezing. I don't know why. But, we went right before we went on air, Chicago, they were losing 2-1. Scored, made it. I mean, they were losing 2-0, scored to make it 2-1. They scored again right before the end of the second as well. So they're in the second, 13 minutes to go here in the third, and it's 2-2. Really good game going on with the Islanders.
Hey, they're hanging tough with the Islanders. The Blackhawks have basically become the walking wounded right now. So any opportunity to get points wherever they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
we had the Bedard injury. But we never talked about the Frank Nazar injury when he got hit in the face with the slap shot. He was out 4 weeks. I think he has another 2 weeks to go or so. But, things, we're looking really good and promising for the Blackhawks. They're still going to have their struggles. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit. we're seeing life in this team and a future in Chicago and what they're trying to do. But then you have the Bedard injury. You lose Frank Nazar, your two top guys. And they've dropped to the bottom of the division. They're tied with Winnipeg right now. But unless they can pick up a point, then your Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, will be the worst team in the National Hockey League. But
had we talked about, we made some predictions before the season.
Yeah.
That would surprise me that the Jets were going to be that far down. I did not expect that. Had you said the Blackhawks would be at the bottom of the division, oh sure, I'd have believed you. Especially, with the Nazar injury, as we talk a little bit of Blackhawks real quickly here, as I don't know if you can see it. I do have, the banner behind me there. A little bit of Blackhawks love here real quick. The Bedard injury happens, and that's just a weird freak, literally less than a second to go in the game in St. Louis, and that happens. Nazar had been on this horrible stretch where he couldn't score. He could not buy a goal. I think he was on a 21-game goalless streak.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Finally gets that monkey off his back and scores, and then gets hurt.
Yeah.
And now he's going to miss a month. They put him on injured reserve. He's going to miss some serious time.
Yep.
It is frustrating and disappointing there with him.
Yeah. Everything just kind of started, going downhill a little bit since that. But, after the new year, after, the Olympic break, this team, he's got 2 good months to fight, and show, what this team is capable of, play for each other like they did earlier in this season,
Absolutely. You can figure it out. You can get your way through it, but it is still, it is still a little frustrating. Well, let's get into tonight's games. There were grand total of 5 NHL games tonight. Plus we've got a PWHL HL game to get through score wise tonight. So we've got 4 finals and then 2 in action. We'll start off with the finals tonight. The Maple Leafs blanket Devils 4-0 in that one. A surprising one there by the Maple Leafs. A good shutout for them. In overtime.
Sorry. Back on that Maple Leafs game.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews, he's still out. This game for the Leafs is one of the first that I've really sat and watched quite a bit of, but they showed the most life that I've seen out of this team. And Toronto is their record is not indicative of how talented that this team is. So maybe this can be a turning point for the Leafs. I still believe in the Maple Leafs, especially in the Eastern Conference. Anything is possible. So mark this game down, this big win, 4-0 win against New Jersey, as a possible stepping stone to what could maybe the Leafs can use this and go on their run.
Maybe it could be. We keep waiting for that.
That
light bulb to turn back on for the Maple Leafs. Maybe this is the one. Yeah, maybe this is. You had a multiple point night for Nicholas Roy. He had his 4th goal of the season. He also had an assist tonight. You had multiple assists tonight by Robertson. He had 2 apples tonight for the Maple Leafs. Good play overall on that one. We'll see if that's able to be a stepping point. Down in Florida, the Panthers, they were hosting the Canadians tonight, went to overtime. The Canadians got the job done. 3-2 win there for Montreal.
Yeah.
They were up 2-0.
They were up 2-0. Montreal, scores the 1 goal, gets back in it. They score the other one late to tie it, to send it to overtime. And then, Nick Suzuki on the power play. Brad Marchand takes a stupid penalty. Marchand, he's
stop if you've heard that before. Brad Marchand takes a stupid penalty.
Yeah, I know. He might be playing his way out of the Olympic roster of his play as of late. I mean, you can't be doing stuff like that. But yeah, bad loss for the Panthers. They did pick up a point, but when you're up 2-0 late in the game like that, and less than 5 minutes to go, and you blow that 2-goal lead.
I was going to say both Canadians' goals came with under 5 minutes to go in regulation. The Panthers were 5 minutes away from winning, and instead they come away with a point. And every point is no points are bad points, but you got to feel like you missed a golden opportunity there for Florida.
Yeah, they sure did.
Elsewhere, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they just keep continuing to roll 5-1 over the Hurricanes tonight. Sidney Crosby got the scoring started with his 21st very early in the game. Anthony Mantha had back-to-back goals. This was 5-0. Pittsburgh was rolling. Finally, Mark Jankowski stopped the shutout, but it was way too little too late at that point.
You really don't see Carolina lay an egg like that. And maybe it was just a clunker of a game. Pittsburgh, put a good game together. And, Stuart Skinner was in goal tonight. So nice job of Skinner beating, the top team in the Eastern Conference. That's huge. Maybe that can boost his confidence as well.
We talked about it at the time that it's, you can't, if you're giving away trash, you're probably only going to get trash in return. But maybe sometimes just that change in venue, that change in scenery, sometimes where it's just, hey, this team wants me. Sometimes that can do it for a player. You never know what that can lead to. But for the Penguins now, this is back-to-back wins now for them. They've They're starting to put it together a little bit now. This is now what, 8 points in their last 10 games. So they're trying to put something together a little bit.
They're scoring some goals too. They put up 7 the other night. Justin Brazo with a hat trick, and then they scored 5 again tonight. So 12 goals the last 2 games for Pittsburgh. And right now, if you look at it, they're start almost right in the thick of things. They're only 2 points out of a wild card slot. So the Eastern Conference.
I mean,
you said it all year. It's like we're repeating ourselves, but it's so true. You could have a good week and be in the playoffs, or have a bad week and be, sitting 10th. It's crazy.
I mean, we talked about how important the points are. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 2 points back.
Yeah.
The team they're 2 points behind, the Florida Panthers, that just missed a golden opportunity to get a 46th point and put themselves in much, much, much better seeding overall. So, it's all relative. It all matters. It all adds up very quickly there. And then we've got the 2 games going on right now in the NHL up in Vancouver. The Flyers and the Canucks just about done with the first period. They are tied at 1. Noah Coates has tied the game with about 8 minutes left in the first period, and David Kampf got the scoring started very early in that one, not even 4 minutes into the game for the Canucks, his second goal of the season. And then just under 10 minutes to go in regulation, the Islanders and Blackhawks all tied up at 2. We talked about that a little bit. The Islanders jumped out to a 2-0 lead in that one. Callum Ritchie and Bo Horvat on the power play scored in the first period. Teuvo Teravainen and Nick Lardis scoring in the second period. Lardis in the final 3 seconds of the second period tied the game. And so now under 10 minutes to go in that one, they will see if that might be a 3-point game as well, or if somebody's going to get a late goal in this one to be the winner.
We'll see. I want to go back on the Canucks real quick. I was watching the game last night. It was the last game of the night. It was, Seattle and Vancouver. And that game ended up going to shootout. And interesting stat in that game, Kevin Lankinen was the goalie for the Canucks last night, and he stopped every shot in the shootout. He's a perfect 17 for 17 in shootout attempts this year. And overall in his career, he is 48 out of 54. The best career NHL save percentage when it comes to shootout and shootout attempts. I had no idea. That was a fantastic stat. You're basically, if he's in net and you're going to the shootout, there's a good chance your team is going to come away with that extra point.
That is remarkable. Yeah, to come away with that 17 of 7. You said 17 of 17 this year?
This year, yeah.
That's impressive to do that. Unfortunately, that means you've got to get to the shootout, which is, not the easiest thing to do, especially not for the Canucks, as they've been, they've been struggling on the whole this season, just in every possible way. 11 point at the bottom of the Pacific, 11 points behind the Oilers, 3 points behind the Flames. And it feels like even with that win over the Kraken last night, it does feel like the Canucks they're not going anywhere anytime soon. It doesn't feel like.
No, there'll be some moves made for sure coming out of there. I think Jake DeBrusk is a name that you're going to hear. If he maybe Evander Kane, another name that might be on their way out, once we get towards that trade deadline. 2 notable guys that can, veterans and you're going to want on your team in playoff crunch time.
Absolutely. One other game to talk about as well tonight over in the PWHL. We'll hope to talk about them a little bit more tonight too. The Minnesota Frost took down the Toronto Scepters 5-1 in Toronto. 4 unanswered goals from the Frost. And Britta Curl Salami got her league leading 10th point of the night for the Frost. So Minnesota,
good for her.
the big 5-1 winners there tonight in the PWHL. So those are all of the scores from tonight. So without any further ado, then let's dive into a segment that we like doing every single week here on the show, and that is Freddie's got his power rankings for this week, and I am typing it up real fast, so I'm going to let you build up to it a little bit while I do some frantic typing, and then we'll get it up.
Let's just say that, like I've said every week, you could be in the power rankings or you could be on your way out. It seems like everybody from about 4 or 5 on down is flip-flopping and interchanging. There's some really good teams that are playing really good hockey right now. We've got San Jose Sharks. They're currently the second wild card team in the Western Conference. They're playing outstanding hockey. We're seeing the Buffalo Sabres on a 9-game winning streak, but not quite into the top 10 of yet. And the biggest drop is the Anaheim Ducks falling out of the top 10 this week.
So some big moves, some big changes. Let's dive into it, shall we? Coming in at number 10.
Yeah, and what a big win we just saw. We just talked about the Montreal Canadiens coming in at number 10. 2 big points tonight in a game in which they should have probably not had any, but that is going to help them now improve as well, giving them 2 additional points. They're right there. They're going to overtake Detroit. 50 points, top of the Atlantic Division are your Montreal Canadiens. Sam Montembeault was goalie tonight too, and he didn't look good to start the game. I don't know, what's going on with the Montreal goaltending, but Montembeault is just not the answer. Jakub Dobiš obviously has been playing well. And then the young, I lost my train of thought here for a second. Uh-oh. The other young Montreal goalie, I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Just picked up his first shutout last week as well. But yeah, Montreal could be even higher now. They were cracked the top 10. They pick up a big road win tonight. So we'll see what the Canadiens can do.
Big come from behind road win too. So the Montreal Canadiens, I think that's the first time we've seen Montreal in the top 10.
It has
as
been.
well in your power rankings. So coming in at number 9.
Number 9 right now, the New York Islanders. They are a team that is showing a lot of promise again. Man, did you see that game the other night with Matthew Barzal? First, they went after, Matthew Schaefer and then that tripping call, and then Barzal comes on, Paul Bunyan style, 2-hand whack onto the skates. He got the $5,000 fine for that, but I do like to see that feisting if that he's sticking up for his 18-year-old superstar defenseman.
That's one of the things that I came away with too. Is my gosh, they're sticking up for an 18-year-old kid. Because let's face it, Matthew Schaefer is a kid. I'm sorry, you're 18. Yeah, all 18-year-olds are kids, and a lot of them are punks. And they're just, we were all 18 once, or we're about to be, and it's just part of what it is. So for that to happen, where it's, hey, we're sticking up for our guy, that is outstanding. For it to be even an 18-year-old kid that they're standing up for, that is fantastic.
Mason Marchman has something coming the next time they play. That's not going to be until March 22nd, but there might be some bad blood when those two teams battle again. And we're talking about him sticking up for his 18-year-old, superstar defenseman, when the Kings, a team with no spine, didn't stick up for their goaltender who got run and he was still injured. Luckily, Darcy Kemper is going to be back. He should be back and ready to play on New Year's Day. But yeah, that just shows the heart and the character of this Islanders team. I really like them. David Riddick has been outstanding in net as well. They're surprisingly strong on all facets of their game.
Yeah, absolutely. So the New York Islanders, they're playing the Blackhawks right now. We'll see if they can finish the job or if they'll allow the Blackhawks to come from behind. Coming in at number 8, that team out in the desert.
Vegas, they could be higher. I did drop them a little bit just because of that bad loss to Minnesota. They would have been a little bit higher. They've been overtaken by Edmonton in the Pacific as far as the standings go. They do have 3 games in hand. So Vegas does have the upper edge, and they can probably catch them in points with those games. But their inconsistency as well. Carter Hart getting run out of the building last night. Akira Schmid having to come in and clean up the mess. Their goaltending thing, we talked about it the last time we were on. Where do they go? With the 3 goalies, somebody's going to be on the way out. Vegas, still strong.
Or traded,
Yeah.
Trade. That's never a bad
And I'm also hearing out of Vegas that William Karlsson is out for the Olympics for Team Sweden. I heard that today. So that's a big blow to Vegas and a big blow to Team Sweden with William Karlsson not going to be able to participate.
Oh, and the players hate that too. They never want to have
Sure.
to miss those international competitions. That's what so many of those guys live for. Coming in next, the winged wheel, the Detroit Red Wings coming in at number 7.
They're still, chugging along. They are. I don't know what to say. I don't think the wheels are going to fall off, and they're going to do kind of what we're seeing with Anaheim, and they're kind of a free fall. I think they peaked a little too early. We're seeing that evident now. Detroit, on the other hand, is still pushing along. I think Mo Seider is one of the best top 5 defensemen in the league today. I've said it before. I don't think he gets enough credit, maybe the most underrated. And then when you've got like Dylan Larkin, he's a fantastic captain, a captain that I would want on my team. He's going to do great in the Olympics as well. And Detroit, they're getting the goaltending, and that's what it's coming down to. The teams that are upper echelon right now have the good goaltending. It really comes down to that. And Detroit is still there. They're fighting with Carolina the other day as the top team in the Eastern Conference. That's crazy. You wouldn't think, you'd be talking about, Tampa Bay or Florida or somebody else competing, but Detroit up there. Now Montreal has just taken over them. That's crazy.
But Detroit sitting here, 40 games in, 49 points, 13-7-1 at home.
Yeah.
7-3 in their last 10. They've still been outscored by 4 goals, though. That's the thing that, to me, their offense is going to have to pick up a little bit. I think their defense has been working for them, but they're going to have to. The scoring is going to have to continue to pick up with Detroit. To me,
yeah. San Jose is the only team that has a worse goal differential that is sitting in a playoff spot right now of the 16 potential playoff teams in the NHL. So. You want to be on the plus side of that, but we've seen it in the past where teams can't score offensively, but they can shut you down and then do get those key goals and pick up the points. But Detroit, I think their offense will come around, and they might be in play to pick somebody up if they're still sitting where they're at the top of the Atlantic. There, they have assets that they can trade. There were talks about them, trying to get Quinn Hughes. So them trying to pick up another defenseman might be something that I would look to see if the Red Wings can pull off come the trade deadline.
Yep. Number 6, we're going to head back down south again. This time we've got that other Florida team, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh, man, Tampa Bay could, honestly, if I had to pick based just on my gut and not statistics and what I've seen, Tampa Bay, I think, is still maybe the top team in the Eastern Conference. I think they dealt with injuries as well, and they've had a couple good big comebacks. A big comeback against Florida the other day, crazy game. The other night with all the penalty minutes and stuff like that. 6 guys in the box at one time. Did you see that?
I did see. They ran out of room in the penalty box.
That's one of the greatest hockey photos I think I've ever seen. But yeah, Tampa Bay, man, they're so strong. And I think 6 is good for them right now. They haven't peaked their full potential yet. Victor Hedman, obviously, a big part of that being out. I'm going to try to go to the game Thursday. They're in LA. So I'm going to try to make that game. So I want to see those guys, I want to see Kucherov. I want to see, Getzel and Hagel and Point. We got some really talented offense right there. So they're still in the thick of things. I don't expect them to drop out. If anything, they're going to move up in the rankings.
Yeah. And so we were talking about with Detroit, that -4 goal differential. Tampa Bay Lightning currently sitting at 3rd in the Atlantic, plus 25 in the goal differential. That is massive.
That's
and they
huge.
are 11-4-3 on the road this season. That is, they have as many wins away from home as they do there in Tampa. That is impressive.
Yeah. They're a strong team, Adam, and I really like what they can bring. They've been in there. They know what it takes, the pedigree to get in, and once you're into the playoffs, to make a run. So I'd expect that, the 3rd highest goal differential in the league, tops in the Eastern Conference. They could put the puck in the net, and if Vasilevsky can play up to his potential, we're seeing his game kind of dwindle a little bit. Not making the saves that we've seen him make in the past, but they can outscore you and they can run you off the ice. And I'm really excited to see them live and in person in a couple of days.
Yeah. Coming in next at number 5, this is a team that just yo-yos constantly. They're up, and then they fall completely out of the rankings, and then they move themselves back into the rankings. And what do we make of the Edmonton Oilers at this point? They're number 5 in the power rankings.
They are, because they're leading the Pacific Division right now. They do have the 3 games in hand over Vegas. Okay, let's keep that in mind. But the streak that we had just seen them on, they were the top team in the Western Conference. They were 8-1-1 over their last 10 before their loss to Calgary the other night. And Connor McDavid had 31 points in a 12-game span. And we were seeing, Leon Draisaitl, he had a hat trick a couple of games ago. He's back up to his scoring ways. Offensively, man, they can steamroll you. And, Tristan Jarry, the guy they pick up in the trade for Skinner from Pittsburgh, he goes down with an injury. Calvin Pickard and Connor Ingram are the 2 goalies that they're heavily relying upon right now. But, McDavid, he is just so good, man. Between him and Nathan McKinnon, man, Team Canada, I don't see them. I don't see anybody beating them in the Olympics. They're just so talented. And it's just, there's some other big stars that are powering that team.
Edmonton has just gotten to the point where they've gone back to, what, in the regular season, we're just going to dare you to outscore us. Try to keep up, boys. Okay, you're going to get 4, fine. We're going to get 7. Keep up. Try to keep up. That's the Oilers.
Their offense really sparked once they were able to get Zach Hyman back in the lineup. I think that's a huge boost for them. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins being healthy as well, but Jack Roslovic, maybe the number 1 off-season pickup right now. His contributions, centering that 3rd line for the Oilers, they're pretty deep. The defense is still suspect. We've talked about that, but offensively, man, they could be a juggernaut. They did lose the other night. Calgary was able to contain them. But yeah, the Pacific Division, that's up for grabs right now. They're currently sitting at number 5.
And then coming in at the number 4 spot, a team we were just talking about a little bit earlier, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, Hurricanes still doing their thing. What do you think about Carolina, Adam? They did lose 5-1 tonight, so it's as soon as I release my power rankings, a team lays an egg. So maybe Montreal will leapfrog Carolina, or Detroit, or Tampa Bay. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe, but I mean, they're comfortably on, as comfortable as you can be on effectively New Year's, on top of the Metro. 5 points coming into tonight in front of the Islanders coming into tonight. Looks like they lost tonight. The Islanders and the Hawks just went into overtime, so the Islanders are at least going to pick up a point on the Hurricanes. But you're in front of the Islanders. You're in front of the Flyers. All the topsy-turvy that's been going on in the Metro, I feel like the Hurricanes are still they're the team that's going to rise out of the top there. The rest of that division is going to be a jumbled up mess that you could put any of them between 2 and 8, but the Carolina Hurricanes to me are the team that you can well, at least the Hurricanes are going to be the top of that mess there.
Yeah, the injury thing is going to be, what stops them. Seth Jarvis, nasty injury when he went crashing into the post a couple of weeks ago. Jacob Slavin out of tonight's game as well. Shane Gostisbehere, who's been fantastic, another unsung defenseman this year, really contributing, picking up a lot of assists. His plus minus is great. He was out tonight, so you're without some of your top D guys, and Keandre Miller looks like he may have gotten hurt tonight as well. So I don't want to see that happening to Carolina. And Freddie Anderson, you're playing. He's probably the most brittle goaltender there is in the league. He can't stay healthy to save his life.
He's great. He's great when he's in there, but yeah, you can't count on him for 40 games. You're gonna need help there in net.
Yeah.
And then coming into number 3, a team that will be in my neck of the woods here in just a couple of days after they lost a shootout to the Blackhawks the other night, which I appreciate that. The Dallas Stars still coming in at number 3, though.
I've had Dallas up there right behind Colorado, I think, over the last 3 weeks, but we see them slip and slide. A couple of bad losses over the past 5 games. And the way Minnesota is playing, I think Minnesota deserves to be number 2 in the power rankings. Dallas is still fantastic. They have a big game coming up against Buffalo. Buffalo on a 9-game winning streak. I think that's going to be an outstanding game. We can see where Buffalo's at. Will they reach the 10-win mark? Unbelievable. Get themselves back into a playoff contention, or will Dallas, step up their game and start turning it around? Minnesota's going to pass them up in the standings. They're only 3 points ahead of them. Nobody's going to catch Colorado, but
right.
Minnesota, the way they're playing, 8-1-1, I think, since they've acquired Quinn Hughes.
They are playing lights out. And yeah, for Dallas, it's back-to-back overtime losses and just some questions coming up there with the Stars. And then number 2, you said it there. Don't look now. Objects in the rearview mirror are closer than they appear.
They are.
The Minnesota Wild, they're right behind them in the standings, and they're now jumping them in your power rankings.
Yeah, Minnesota, they've gotten the goaltending we talked about with Wallstedt, and offensively they can put the puck in the net as well. They can be very scary. And in a division where, you have some high flying teams like Dallas and Colorado, they can compete. And if they can get the solid defense, adding Quinn Hughes to that blue line not only helps them, defensively, but he's that offensive defenseman that they can carry, who can carry the workload, who can bring the puck into the zone, who can distribute the puck. That's everything that Minnesota was looking for. Outside of Colorado, they are probably the most scary team right now in the NHL.
Mm-hmm. And you brought up, since they got Quinn Hughes, they're 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. So 17 points in their last 10 games. That's phenomenal. And they're not just, yes, they beat Winnipeg. Yes, they beat Nashville. Not necessarily some of the best teams in the league, but they beat Vegas 5-2 the other night. They're beating the teams they should, and some of the teams that you'd think, oh, maybe they wouldn't be beating this.
Yeah, they were up 5-0 on Vegas last night, and that was in Vegas. That's a hard place to pick up a road win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm liking what I see out of Minnesota, and if they could just stay healthy, They've had guys that have been injured as well. But yeah, really, I like what I'm seeing out of the Wild.
They are coming in hot. That's for sure. They're looking like they're going to start 2026 off on the right foot. And then coming in at number one, can there really be any other number one? They don't lose. They just do not lose in regulation. The Colorado Avalanche.
Well, they apparently don't lose in overtime or shootouts either. I was watching the game the other night. They were down 2 goals, 4-2 against Vegas, another game in Vegas on the road, and Vegas blows that 2-goal lead. Vegas comes back, takes the lead late. Colorado comes back in the last minute and ties it, and then wins it in the shootout. Oh man, they're you could stop them. I think it. I don't remember who it was. I don't think it was Chris Berman. There was somebody. There was a sports announcer who used to say, You can try and stop him, or you can't contain him, or something like that. I'm messing it up.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And who was that?
That was one of the 4-letter network guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
But
yeah, you can't. And now Colorado is just phenomenal. Mackenzie Blackwood is. Have you ever seen him, like his workout regimen and stuff like that? The dude's a big goalie. He's built, he's strong, and what they've done, there are only 2 regulation losses on the season. Still perfect at home. They beat my Kings last night. The score really wasn't indicative of how the game was. I was hoping my Kings were going to be the team that knocked them off at home first, but obviously that didn't happen. The game was close, but Colorado knows what it takes to win, and they can put so much pressure on you. Nathan McKinnon is just something else, and we're seeing those guys click at a level we've never seen a team play. This is incredible where they're sitting right now with only the 2 with 28 or 29 wins, only the 2 losses and 7 ties. It's just, man.
It's basically the only way you can really expect to beat Colorado this year seems to be you need to get them to the shootout. They're just 1-4 in shootouts. That they're 9 losses this season. 4 of them have come in shootouts. So that seems to be
that's crazy. You think about it, too, with the amount of snipers that they have.
Yep. Yeah. For whatever reason, that does seem to be the kryptonite. Unfortunately, once you get into the postseason, you lose the shootout. So, good luck.
Yeah.
good luck at that point.
They have an 8-point lead over Dallas right now with a game in hand on Dallas. So 65 points at an .855 win percentage, a plus 66 goal against,
goal differential.
Goal differential. Number 1 goalie tandem in the league. They've given up the least amount of goals. They've scored the most amount of goals. Everything is working for Colorado, and
it is
no surprise with them at number 1.
No surprise at all with them at number 1. That is the only
like I said,
option you could have.
I said that we have teams coming up, Sharks potentially. Last night, I'm going to throw out another stat. I like to throw out these little tidbits to you. I know we're probably up on time. Macklin Celebrini became the 4th fastest player to get to the 60-point plateau in a season being a teenager.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. 3rd fastest.
Okay.
39 games this season to reach 60 points. Just picked up 3 points against Anaheim last night. The only 2 guys that have done it faster, Gretzky did it in 37 games, and Crosby did it in 35 games.
That's good company to keep.
It is.
And
I think that's why, he's so deserving of being on that Team Canada roster.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, we are up against it tonight, so we'll kind of tease this a little bit, and we'll definitely get into it next week, because tomorrow the Olympic rosters are announced. I've got to believe that Macklin Celebrini has made his way onto the Team Canada roster.
Yeah, I think something came out. There was something I saw earlier that said yes, he is officially on the team, and you'd be stupid not to take him. What hasn't he done this year? He's leading that Sharks rejuvenation. I said he's the closest thing I've seen to Sid Crosby as far as his game goes. He's bringing the grit, fantastic vision on the ice. Team Canada, they've got some decisions to make. I think the goalies for both Canada and USA are the question marks right now. Still waiting to see who the 3 goalies each team are going to take.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll keep an eye on that, and then we will dissect and break that down next week and see who did what, where the mistakes were made on the rosters, and what we think that will be. But that will be a topic for next week.
Adam.
And that is because we have just bumped up against it tonight.
Again?
I know. We get on a roll, we get going, and man, so much to get through on tonight's show, but we did. We got through World Juniors, we got through NHL, we talked some Olympics, we talked power rankings, we talked PWHL. My goodness, just a ton that we got through on the show tonight. We talked Winter Classic, all kinds of fun things on the show tonight.
What about your New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolution, watch more hockey.
Yes!
That's the plain and simple one right there. Watch more hockey. Thank you to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Good jerky that is on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. They'll offer free shipping on all orders $50 and above. Free volcanic jalapeno and fry. You will not be disappointed. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only keeps great but also promotes and donates to mental health research. When you go to vitalapparel.com, use the promo code IESR, get 50% off of your order. Be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms as well: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at IE Sports Radio. This show is available for you on Twitter. We are at IESR NutriZone. He is at Freddie_sports. I am at Adam_Carnett. Thank you to Larry B, the star and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for allowing us to do this crazy, wacky thing that we do every week. Thank you for watching, whether this is your first show, whether you've been around for every season, if it's your first season, wherever it is. Thank you for being here. Pass the show along, let your friends know, whether they are casual hockey people, whether they're die-hard people, entertaining to everybody. Next week, we'll be back to our regular time, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Figure out where you are in that. Freddie, what's on your New Year's resolution list?
More hockey, baby. Let's get this going.
Let's go.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. God bless to everybody out there. We'll see you on the other side.
We'll see you next week. Have a great New Year, everybody.